What's up, family? It's your favorite cousin Rich, back again, and this is episode 16 with Rich Talks. And today we're going to talk about the myth of success. Yes, the myth of success. How is success viewed upon yourself? How do you view success? How and did you learn your views on success by what you've thought or what others have thought? Is success to you the American dream, or is success to you accomplishing your own dreams of what you set out? Success is kind of tricky because, especially in this society we live in, a lot of people deem success with either accomplishments on an occupation, meaning if you have some sort of prestigious job, or success in materialism. You know, if your car is over $75,000, $100,000. These are the types of success, I believe, or markers that we have set out for today. The success of occupation. So, to me, you're telling me you're only successful if, you're a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant. Something that makes people go, ooh. You see? But what if that's not what that person wanted to do? Are they still successful? So what about the person who's a garbage man, who's a trash man, or a police officer, or the social worker, or the teacher? They're not successful because their job does not fit into some high society role, I believe. So they're not successful. Even though they have a greater impact, I would say, or more of a direct impact on society today, they're not successful. The person who drives a BMW or a Mercedes or an Audi or something, they're successful because they're driving a foreign luxury car. So what about the single parent driving a Honda? They're not successful. We have to change how we see success at times. And this is only for people who see success in the lens that I just described. Especially in the area of the country that I'm currently in right now. There's a lot of that going on. People would be quick to throw you into a box. People would be quick to judge you. People would be quick to label you, mislabel you. All because you don't fit into some sort of structure that they have deemed worthy of respect. Cold-blooded, ain't it? But a lot of times these people don't know, number one, you might have achieved more success than they have, or the average person. You just choose not to wear your success. See, for a lot of people, success is internal. For a lot of people, success is not in those two things of just occupation or, materialism. And if it wasn't occupation, success to someone is being able to teach somebody. So that teacher is, honestly, she's probably feeling successful. The single mother or single parent, the single parent who's driving the Honda, they're successful. Why? Because who knows where they came from. It goes hand in hand with the quote, beauty is only skin deep. It goes hand in hand with that. Because we only see beauty on the outside, but what's really on the inside. Same thing with success. We see the car and the job title, but what's really behind all that? How do you really feel about yourself? Do you really feel successful? You know? To me, success is whatever you make it. Is if you set out a goal for yourself to accomplish, and you accomplish that goal. That's what success is. Whether it be weight loss or some kind of, let me take a step back. Whether it be setting personal goals, which can include something like weight loss or saving an amount of money or accomplishing a certain amount of knowledge or a certain amount of wisdom. Success is being at peace. Success could be a lot of things. And even when it's, like I said, occupation, it's not just, oh, I have this top bourgeois job. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing with being a doctor. There's nothing wrong with being a lawyer. There's nothing wrong with being an accountant. There's nothing wrong with being any of these things. The only reason why I talk down or I talk about these things in the light that I do is because a lot of times the people who signed up for these things or the people who were forced to sign up for these things didn't want to be that. Didn't want to do that. That wasn't in their heart. It wasn't in their heart. But the only reason they did it was from external pressures. Whether it be from their community, parents, society. That's the reason why some people, or majority of these people, have taken up these occupations. Because it quote unquote looks good. It quote unquote looks successful. But true success is only to those who wanted to be a doctor, who wanted to be a lawyer, who wanted to be an accountant, who wanted to be a dentist. Where they actively sought out that occupation and did what they needed to do to accomplish their goals. Those are the ones that's truly successful. Not just the ones who are a doctor or lawyer. It's not to talk about myself, but I have this certain aura about myself when I'm introduced or I come across people who have nice things, nice jobs. People who say they're a doctor, a lawyer, people who have the nice cars, the $100,000 cars, My aura, my presence changes a little bit. And the reason being is because I want to see what these people are really made of. Who are they really? Are they their job title? Or are they them and their job title is just a part of them? Are they their car? Or is their car just a part of them? And sad to say, it's not the latter. This is not. A lot of times they are their job. A lot of times they are their materialism. And you say, well, how does that go into success? I tell you, because these people don't know who they are. So they wrap themselves in their success of accomplishing these goals. Because it makes them feel good. It makes them rise into their social hierarchy. But what good does that really do for their soul? See, when we're talking about success, we're talking about soul. You can't trick your soul. You can't trick it. You can't fool your soul. When your soul is full and got that light and it's good, it's happy, your soul, you walk different, you talk different, you move different, you look different. You handle people different. I just gave you a cheat code. When you see people who have these nice things, these nice jobs, and you deem them as successful, that's a determining factor to see if someone is successful or not. What's their soul telling you? I'm telling you, what's their soul? Look into their soul. See beyond their skin. See beyond the nice car. See beyond all that. The materialism. See beyond all that. They say, what is your soul saying? What is your soul telling? And it'll speak a lot. Truth be told, a lot of these people that we deem as successful, even celebrities, oh, they're successful, they're a celebrity, they're a movie star, they're a model, they're a pop star. All these people, like I said, that we deem as successful, their soul is missing in action too. Their soul is missing in action too. You see, success does not play any role, society and other people's thoughts and opinions don't play a role on what you deem successful. In honesty, it hurts what you deem successful because it goes back to the theory, it goes back to the thought of that we are in the world, not of the world. So when you're in the world, you still have your own soul, you still have your own thought patterns, you still have your own ways of doing things that you have not converted over to the way the world handles those things. The way the world handles success is, like we stated before, the car, the house, the family, all in a prestigious way to impress others. That's what we have deemed worldly success. But the eyes of godly success, or spiritual success, or divine success, that success is achieved by accomplishing the goals that were set out divinely for you. Meaning when you meditate, when you're in that quietness, when you're all alone, when it's just you and yourself, you and God, you and the universe, however you see fit. It's not the day for that conversation. But however you see fit, when you're in that time of openness to receive downloads, when you're in that time, what is the universe saying to you? When you go out into the world, what do you crave to do? How do you see yourself being being fruitful by helping others? Because ultimately that's what we're put here to do. Our divine mission is to help others in a certain way that we were divinely put here to do. So some people may divinely be here to teach. Some people may divinely be here to cook. Some people may divinely be here to even tell jokes. And you say, how does telling jokes successful? You know, people think just being a big comedian, but when you look in the depths of being a comedian, when you look in the depths of telling jokes, you're livening people's soul. You're livening their spirit. You're making their spirit happy. You're making them laugh. When you're filled with laughter and you're happy, that raises your frequency. When that raises your frequency, you're allowed to attract more things in. Imagine somebody who's depressed and they're living in that low state of depression with that low frequency, because we know depression ranks low on the frequency scale, and that person goes to a comedy show and now they start laughing. Ha 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 ha. Guess what's bound to rise? Their frequency. So the thoughts that they had about whatever they might have been thinking about while they were depressed, guess what? It's no longer there. That person is a healer. See, a comedian can be a healer. To me, that's successful. That might be more successful than the person who said they wanted to be a doctor just because their parents said they should. See how cold the game can get? And to keep it real with you, I would say that comedian has probably healed and helped more people, that being their divine mission, than a doctor whose divine mission might have been something else. Yet he chose that role, to appease other people. You see? So whatever your divine mission is, you're put here to help. And through that helping, I believe you'll find success. And not just materialistic success or success that people deem whatever to whatever. No, you'll find success in yourself because your soul is going to be happy. Your soul is going to be full. I told you that's how you calculate success. How does your soul feel? Is it warm or is it cold? Again, is your soul warm or is your soul cold? And another thing about success, people don't think about the psychological cost of when you chase success. Meaning, the mental strain that goes with chasing success, the mental health that is at stake when you chase success. And I believe these things, the psychological effects, only weigh heavily if you are chasing success or chasing worldly success. To me, that's the only time that the psychological is affected. I take that back. The psychological is affected in a negative way. Again, psychological is only affected in a negative way when you only chase worldly success. What if you're chasing your divine success? Guess what happens? There's no such thing as depression. When you're deep in it, chasing it, there's no such thing as depression. There's no such thing as anxiety. There's no such thing as being burnt out. You want to know why? Because your soul is filled. See, when your soul is filled, that's what's going to keep you going. When your soul is filled, that's what keeps you from being depressed because you understand why you're on this mission. When your soul is fulfilled, you're present. That's why you don't have anxiety. Anxiety is when you're thinking about the present. Depression is when you're thinking about the past. So let's say, for instance, you're chasing worldly success and you think about all the things you could have did, all the nights that you missed studying, that you could have went out with your friends. And now you become depressed. All the life choices that you had to skip out on because you chose this quote-unquote worldly success. Think about the depression that comes about. Or the anxiety when you're thinking about, I got a test. I have an appointment. I have an operation I need to do. All these things that weigh heavily on you. And you're not just taking them with grace and ease. Why? Because that's not what you really want to do. Even the anxiety of buying which car to buy because you got to make sure you purchase the right car to impress everybody. You can't just buy the 750. You got to buy the 750 with the M package and the this and the this and the this and the this. the psychological stress, the anxiety, the depression, the feeling of, are you worthy enough? Are you good enough? All these things go away when you follow your divine success. When you're divinely guided to what you're supposed to do, and you're carrying that out, you're patient. Because you're willing to sit back and see the finish line. You're willing to sit back and see it all come together. You're actively hand in hand with it. You're a part of it. You're happy to be there. Even if your life totally changes, even if you go from living in a 4-bedroom apartment to a little hut, that doesn't make any difference. Actually, you might be more at peace. Why? Because it allows you to focus even more on your divine goal. See, when you're divinely guided to what you're supposed to be doing, and that your soul becomes filled, there's nothing you can accomplish. There's nothing that you cannot accomplish. When your soul is filled, it's just like you just ate a big meal and you got all the energy you need. That's going to be the energy that you need to carry you through. That's what's going to have the blinders up, is when your soul is filled. When your soul is filled, you have blinders up. You're not worried about what's on the left. You're not worried about what's on the right. Depending on how long you've been in the world, yes, what some people may say may affect you in some sort of way, but it's not going to deter you from where you're going. Honestly, if somebody says something and you feel some sort of way, it's good, because it's going to force you to keep going, because you know that way that you feel is to the left. It's towards the downward frequency. And you know you shouldn't go down that way because you already feel it. Your soul is disturbed. The psychological effects. Even like, I believe that was episode 15 or 14 when we were talking about, expectations. And how the kids have the expectations of, going to school, the good grades, da 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 da. And it's the same thing, the psychological effect of someone in school who is supposed to get straight A's. The psychological stress of someone who is going to a certain school that they don't want to go to, but because of outside influences, they chose to go to those schools. So now they have to live with their choices. And this can turn around and lead to, if it's not anxiety, depression, it can lead to being burnt out. It can lead to addictions. Burnt out because you're tired. You're actually tired of doing these things that's not filling your soul. That's how you get burnt out. If you're doing something you're actively, divinely guided to do, your soul is going to be filled. It's going to be recharged every time, every moment that you are, doing that thing, that said thing, whether you're either at the finish line or you're on the way. Your soul is going to be filled with every step. That's why you can see somebody who, has a regular job, but they were divinely guided to that job, and they're happy. And you got somebody who's, this high prestigious lawyer, and they're miserable. We've all seen it. Somebody who has the nice car, the house, the kids, the wife, all that. The American dream that we deem the American dream. We see people who have that. And we say, well, why are you mad? Why are you so angry? If I was in your shoes, I wouldn't be angry. Yes, you would. You say that now on the outside looking in because you only seeing success as worldly. You say that now because of the position you've been put in, but be in that person's shoes. You wouldn't want to be there. It looks good on the outside looking in if you're seeing it from the worldly eyes, but if you're looking from the divine eyes, there's no position you wish your worst enemy to be in. It's worse than smoking cigarettes. You know how they say smoking cigarettes takes years off your life? To me, not living in your purpose, your divine purpose, you not following success as you deem success, that's worse than smoking cigarettes. That's worse than smoking cigarettes. But back to the person who is in school studying, or the people who's not accomplishing their divine mission, their divine, divinely guided to do. What happens? They lead open to depression, anxiety. We said those two. Being burnt out. What's burnt out is when you're actually tired. You have no more energy to keep going. So instead of saying I'm gonna take a break, which some people either take a break or they completely quit. They completely crash out. Some people turn to addictions. Addictions is nothing but escapism. Pills, alcohol, drugs, sex. All these things to escape their current reality and give them some sort of quote-unquote peace or pleasure for the moment. Because that's all those things are when you use them as a form of escapism. Side note, that's why I hate when people say that things like drugs, sex, all these things are a form of escapism. Not necessarily. It's the vein that you use it in. Again, it's the vein that you use it in. If you're using them to escape your thoughts, if you're using them to escape your reality because you're not happy or at peace with your reality. If you're using them to numb the pain, yes. Nothing on this earth is strictly good or strictly evil, strictly bad, strictly good. Nothing. I just need to throw that out. So, as said, success is what you make it. But first, what were you divinely guided to do? When you find that the divine guidance that what you were supposed to do, success could be as simple as being a crossing guard. The joy and fulfillment that you see kids to being safe every day, going to school. And some people may think like that's so weird, but you'd be surprised. You never know. When you're choosing something to go about life in, if you're looking at things like success, it's what you make it. I know we've heard it time and time again, but it's literally what you make it. This is your own personal journey. This has nothing to do with anybody else. You came in the womb by yourself and you left by yourself. And if you have a twin, it still doesn't include them because you're going to leave by yourself. You just so happen to share something with somebody, but that wasn't necessarily intended to. It just happened. But that still doesn't mean you live your life for this person. Again, this is your life to live. This is your own personal journey. You are writing your own story. You and the divine are writing this story. And it's how you see fit. Don't allow the influences and thoughts and opinions of others dictate how you write your own story. This is your book that you're writing. No one else's. You know, how do you see yourself fulfilled? How does the universe see yourself fulfilled? Because honestly, like I keep going back to universe and God, seeing it is because they have a higher perspective of us, of how when we can move or make these decisions, it can impact us and impact the world and help everything move forward. That's why I say these things. It knows much more than we do. So sometimes you just have to surrender. In that surrenderance, surrender the thoughts of what you thought was successful, the material items, the quote unquote job, all these things. Surrender all those things and be open to what the universe may guide you to. Because what the universe may guide you to may completely fill your soul than what you're doing now. To a whole nother level where what you're doing now is so minuscule. To others it may be great, but to you it's going to become so minuscule. Why? Because your soul is finally fulfilled. You finally have that peace. You finally have joy. Yes, success is what you make it. Don't let others define it for you. The moment you let others define it for you, you're living for others. The moment you live for others, that's when the psychological effects, the negative psychological effects start to kick in. Remember, this life is for you. I hope this helps somebody today. This your favorite cousin. Remember the myth of success. Also, worldly success versus divine success. I hope this helps somebody today. This your favorite cousin. Episode 16 of Rich Talks. Y'all be safe. Y'all take care of yourself. I love y'all. Love and blessings.